Los Angeles doesn't really need mountain biking. It has Hollywood, it has all these other things, so you can feel a little maybe disconnected. There's not a lot of awareness of trail crews in like such a giant urban setting. No one really thinks who does the trail work. The trail work fairies did the trail work. You can feel like there's so many people and they're very detached from the very small amount of people that are out doing the work. The type of work and the nature of the work has its own filters built into it. But yeah, LA's fun, but it's difficult, you know?
Because there are already existing orgs working on local advocacy, trail courtesy, user conflict, it really allows us to go do things that other orgs aren't always necessarily have the capability or capacity to do. And that, I think, is a really important part of what Lowelife serves to the community, is that we're a little more free in some ways to go work on some of the dreams projects that we've always had.
The original focus of Lowelifes was to restore trails lost to fire and to neglect, and we focus on backcountry trails a little off the beaten path, tougher to access, whereas we have many other crews in the forest, often working on the more popular trails.
There's not another crew like us, really. Yeah, we're willing to do what a lot of other crews would never really want to do. And I feel like the Condor project was a perfect example.
Condor Peak Trail was a really cool legacy trail dating back to at least the 60s, built on ridge lines and in sort of close to proper recreational grades, so not quite as steep as a lot of the legacy hiking trails we work on here. It was special because it had been essentially abandoned by the forest as well as users for over a decade before we started working on it. And at the end of the day, it's one of the coolest trails in the forest, and again, not too much traffic on it yet, so it hasn't got rutted out and bony like the more popular trails.
It was a big project. A lot of people, especially from a cyclist perspective, no one had a clue what the heck it was or thought it was anything worth doing. But I knew, because I'd gone out and bushwhacked it over the years a few times with my bike, going, man, this could really be a great trail. And when we started our new trail crew, it just kind of immediately popped in my mind as a giant project that if we could get that thing done, like, it would make a statement.
It was kind of this perfect project that we could take on, and it was big. I think it taught a lot of us what we were actually capable of doing. There was definitely volunteers that were surprised that we were doing, myself as well. My limits were pushed on many levels, physically, mentally, you know, it was a big project.
It had a good base built by the Civilian Conservation Corps and was a trail that offers connectivity to an area that's been ravaged by natural disaster and fires and underused. So getting that put back together was a big priority, and opening up an entire sector of the forest that's been closed to people for a long time.
I think it was just short of 4,000 hours we put into it. A lot of the work was just me and a few other people. Try to do some promotion of like, yo, we finished this trail, like, come on out and ride it. We held that little group ride just to get people to come out on it. One of my buddies had a bike race on it. You know, we've been trying to put it out there.
We call it the Doomsday Hammer. It's just a cordless roto-hammer. It's a drill or a demolition hammer. It gets busy. It made a lot of things happen on Condor, that's for sure. A lot of huge rock slides where you get big rocks sitting in the trail that you can't really move with people. We just bust them up into pieces, and that's all she wrote.
Hi, my name's Stephanie Ortega. I've been doing Lowelifes probably since they started. I don't know how long it's been. Born and raised out here, it's home. Just maintaining trails that are deep in the forest. Being able to ride it after you're done, it's really rewarding.
William Ramirez Watson. I've been with Lowelifes for about, I think, a year and a half. Lowelifes is giving back to the outdoor community. And it's really nice to just go home super tired and get to hang out in the woods with these guys.
Yeah. My name's Shane Skateski. I've been with Lowelifes since October of 2022, so pretty new to it. It's just nice being outside, working outside, improving a place that means a lot to me, and doing it with really friendly people. People who are willing to put, their time and energy into improving a shared resource, and I think that's something to be commended.
Rochelle Boyd, and I've been volunteering with Lowelifes since 2020, I think. I think the very first camp out we did for Condor Peak Trail, we were up, or the first one I went to, we were up on Lightning Point, camping out, and it was July, and it was disgustingly hot, and the work was brutal. I spent 2 days hacking out millions of yucca off the ridge, and I was hooked. So that was probably the most fun. It means getting outside more, going to places that I wouldn't normally go and doing things I wouldn't normally do, helping out a community that I hope to be more of a part of. So just all around good vibes.
My name is Chase, and I've been volunteering with Lowelifes for 1.5 years. Lowelifes means a bunch of people coming together to make the forest a more accessible place for everyone in Los Angeles.
Ryan Castle, and coming up on a year. The community, the new community was good, but tacos are good. We always have fun, it's all fun. I was looking for something that I like to do and something that I had parallel interests with, and aside from meeting new people and just, fighting the good fight out here on the trails, it's a good excuse to get out, so it's a lot of interests married together in one, and yeah, that's what I like. It's a fun outlet to volunteer.
So this down here will
Beforehand, there's scouting and that kind of stuff. Matt, Travis, and Rob and I kind of discussing a little bit about what we're going to do for that weekend, the goals, etc. Usually that means a pre-ride on Friday, if whoever can get in there to take a look at current trail conditions from storms or whatnot, maybe move around some tools. And then usually we'll meet up at the trailhead on Saturday morning, get everybody together, bikes getting packed up, sign-ups on forums, donuts, and all that kind of stuff. And then we usually will ride into camp, try to set up camp, and then get everybody out on the trails as soon as possible. Try to put in a good 6 hours or so on Saturday of trail work, and then come back and we'll do dinner. Pretty good dinner out in the woods. Food is super important, I think, to volunteer happiness. And there's commonly some homemade desserts being passed around, things like that. Usually some pretty bomb tacos. And yeah, and then camping out next morning, try to get going as soon as we can and try to put in a good 4 or more hours on Sunday. But at least with our recent campouts, the logistics and the time of getting out, it's a pretty good climb out with gear. So we end up, Sunday's a little bit shorter because of all that extra transit time.
100% volunteer crews out here. That's all done by us. Come one, come all. Feed them good food, right? Don't be mad if they're not ready to go at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's no big deal. It's no sweat. Yeah, that was my main thing. Fun, inclusivity, and how to cover more ground.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Thanks, dude.